Okay, so this morning when I woke up and discovered, because the first thing I do is I take my dog for a walk. I live on a third floor apartment and he has to go out. I discovered that all three of my leashes from two separate locations were gone. So that's a malicious act. That isn't, hey, somebody misplaced a leash. It was three leashes, two locations, close enough that you could see it. They were this far apart in two separate cubby holes. But to grab two leashes out of one and then another leash out of the other is vindictive. And I can't help, I got up and freaked out. And the only person here at the time was Russ. So Russ just packed up his shit and left. And then Cheyenne came back. Her shit was already packed up in the hall. And I said, just get your shit and get the fuck out. And Anthony came in and I said, we're done. And then he started calling me like a fucking faggot and all sorts of crazy stuff. But Anthony is the one that stole all the cannabis and the laptop. I gave him a second chance. And then just shit won't stop coming up missing. And I was 100% certain it was Cheyenne, but then after speaking to her, I really don't think it was. So the only thing I can think of is Casey got all sorts of butthurt about a skateboard that he really wanted. I had bought a $40 longboard out of the crackhead community because I am training Logos on that. And Casey then started, after he asked if he could borrow it from me, then came back and said that it was originally his and somebody stole it from him and it's his birthday. So he wants the skateboard. And I was like, no, you can use the skateboard, but no, you don't get to keep the skateboard. So he got all butt hurt and then came back at like 2 a.m. and got all butt hurt again. And then, I don't know, 2 days later, the skateboard was missing and all of his stuff that he was storing around here was packed up and gone. And so was my beard trimmer, which I was irritated with. But, so everything that's been stolen over the last couple days has been all the stuff that Casey covets. Casey knows that I leave my door unlocked. So $10 says he walked in, Logos and I were in my room sleeping. I had the door closed because I didn't want to hear everything that was going on out here. And I think they were probably asleep and Casey just made it to the entryway, took the stuff that he was interested in, and then took off. So I doubt I'm going to see Casey again. I might, but I doubt it. And it's difficult to do and contend with because they will sincerely look you in the eyes and straight up lie to you. I didn't do it. I don't know. Like I watched the video of me coming home from jail and I walked through the door and the only thing I really wanted to see was my dog and they were all standing here and they're like, yeah, the laptop was stolen. And I was like, yeah, who took it? And Anthony's like, I don't know. Anthony was the one that took it, right? And this is very well known now, but I was watching that video back and I'm like, their go-to is just shameless fucking lying. Anyway, so Anthony's gone. Dan is going back to California, and I'm pleased with that decision. I don't want him around, and I think even though Samson is a really cool puppy, it would be problematic with my training and my relationship with my dog to have, that form of competition in the house. Samson's already displaying food aggression, which I don't appreciate because there is just always an abundance of food here for the dogs. There's 2 dog food bowls down. There's no need for Samson to try to guard both of them. And it's not my dog. And Dan definitely raises his animal different than I do. He's a yeller and a hitter. With my animal, I'm neither. Or sometimes both, but he's very sensitive, and if I raise my voice at him, that really bothers him. And the only time I swat him is when he knows that he's being too aggressive with his mouth while playing. You can't just come up and bite me in the ass and not expect a hand to come back and pop you in the muzzle. But it just is what it is. Oh, and Russ did come back and we talked, and I can't I can't be alone. I cannot expose myself like that. That is too dangerous. I get arrested way too often, and then I would just lose absolutely everything. So I have to have somebody around because I'm not going to lose my dog. I mean, everything else I could give a shit about, but I'm not going to lose another dog.